So Ubisoft announced a new game today called Hyper Scape. Now we're going to play a couple of these trailers and I'll play the first one now and then we'll talk about it and then we'll play the second and talk about that trailer. So here we go.
Anytime you're playing music for the crowd instead of yourself.
Right, so that was the official trailer, and there is also a gameplay trailer that we'll get into. But first, so basically, this is a battle royale game, obviously with a futuristic type of aesthetic, and quite clearly from what it looks like to begin with, it looks like a Quake and Overwatch and Battle Royale and Lawbreakers type of game. Seems like it takes the best bits from a lot of different games, and I think this is pretty much a direct competitor to people who played Apex Legends. I think that it's trying to take the Fortnite audience who've been the people who have been playing Fortnite for ages probably want a new game, and the people that are playing, there are people like Ninja who maybe people want a brand new game where they can be a really big streamer as well. So people who are kind of like on the fringe of Fortnite want a new game where they can be the top player. So I think with Hyperscape, I think the timing is right, honestly, and I think timing is really important because I think Apex Legends came out right at that kind of time where Fortnite was at its peak, and trying to take people away from another game where it's peak, where people are still having tons of fun, is probably not going to pick up a lot of people. So now that people played Fortnite for a couple of years and know everything about the game, it's probably about the right time for people to start thinking about or getting into a brand new game. And the same with Apex Legends. I think this is kind of saying like, hey, you gave Apex Legends a go, and if you didn't like it, why not try this game? So Resetera has got some information on Hyperscape, so I'll just read that. So it's been worked on for 2 years, very streamlined battle royale experience. Engine took best bits from Rainbow Six and Assassin's Creed, and now the developer is actually Rainbow Six Siege office or studio. The map is 1 kilometer squared, and there's 100 players per map. I believe it's 99 because there's 33 teams of 3 players each. Finding duplicate weapons allows you to upgrade it to 5 times. No circles, and the maps decay, and they'll show that in the next video, the gameplay video, very clearly. Crown drops at the end, and you must either capture and hold it for 45 seconds or kill everyone. Twitch extension evolves with the community. Shows streamer stats and loadouts in real time. It lets the community choose server events. So that's something really cool. So the community who are watching the game, they can decide on some gameplay events during the game, I believe. Future holds new game modes, new BP, new seasons, 3 squads, and solo are main modes. So the thing that I took out from that trailer the most was that there was a ton of verticality in the game, and so that's going to bring a different type of I guess gameplay action, because Fortnite and I believe Apex Legends also was very ground based, and even PUBG really. PUBG is totally ground based. So but you know, that didn't go over so well for Lawbreakers, so we're gonna have to see. I just believe that Lawbreakers didn't get the marketing or push behind Lawbreakers to really succeed, and it came right at the time where Fortnite was 2 or 3 months out and Lawbreakers came out, and it was just dead because everybody just wanted to play Fortnite. So you know, now is kind of the right time for something like Hyper Scape. So we're gonna play the other gameplay trailer, and it's 4 minutes long, but let's play that and then discuss the game.
Hello, contender. Welcome to the Hyper Scape, our new fast-paced battle royale that brings verticality to the next level. In Hyper Scape, up to 100 players will compete in a variety of game modes. Squad and solo crown rush are the main modes where Battle Royale champions are crowned. Neo Arcadia is a virtual, shimmering city designed to encourage vertical mobility and fast-paced combat situations. From sky-high towers to deadly interiors, you will constantly need to adapt your fighting styles. Once the battle begins, your personalized deployment pod is your transport to the battle. You will be able to drop in any part of the map, so pick your drop spot wisely. Hit the ground running, because you'll start with only a melee weapon. Hotly contested landmarks are known to contain abundant caches of gear, but high risk brings the chance of high reward. Gear is found inside buildings, closed off by breakable barricades, and inside supply crates located around the map. As you traverse the city, looking for gear and enemies, you'll discover the different environments create diverse gameplay opportunities and challenges. Your competition may come from any angle. Every battle in Hyper Scape is a fresh experience where you leverage the varied arsenal you will find in Neo Arcadia. Your loadout is not determined by the character you choose, but by the weapons and hacks you loot. From full auto assault weapons to powerful energy blasters, there is a tool for any playstyle. Hacks are game-changing abilities you loot around the map that grant skills for offense, defense, and movement. You can loot 2 weapons and 2 hacks and swap them at any time if you need to change your strategy. The choice is in your hands. If you find a copy of a weapon or hack you already have in your possession, you can fuse it, creating an upgraded version. Each item can be upgraded several levels, improving magazine size, damage, or cooldown duration. As you discover your footing in the Hyper Scape, your squad will be there to help you. Use the ping system to sync with your squad and warn them of potential threats or alert them to potential resources. If an enemy manages to take you out, the battle is not over. At 0 health, you'll become an echo and you can help your squad by scouting ahead. When enemies are eliminated, a restore point appears in that spot. Find a restore point, and your squad mates can bring you back into the fight. As your game master, one of my favorite tasks is to keep things lively by triggering battle events, such as the infinite ammo event or the low gravity event. Viewers on Twitch help influence my choice and can vote on additional events, so remember to play the crowd. Keep an eye on your map, contender. As the match progresses, sectors will decay and collapse throughout Neo Arcadia. If you're too late reaching a safe area, you will take damage over time. and may be exposed to enemy attacks. Those skilled enough will enter the showdown phase. The Hyper Scape crown will spawn in the final remaining sector. From here, you have 2 different paths to victory. Become the sole survivors or hold onto the crown for 45 seconds. You are now prepared for the Hyper Scape, contender. We here at Prisma Dimensions hope you enjoy your stay.
So, after I watched those 2 trailers, I thought the game looked really awesome. I think, yeah, I was very, very excited for it. I'm not really a first-person shooter type fan, although I did get into Overwatch because that looked pretty good. But I think I'm excited because it's time for a change from Fortnite, and I think even though it's Ubisoft and we know it's going to be quite cookie cutter, you know, the kind of very boring level progression, I still think that the time is there for a bit of a change to our game discussion, and it's good to get some competition for Fortnite. But just going over the last gameplay trailer, so the things that I really noticed was that so the gear is actually inside the buildings, so you're gonna have to go into the buildings to get better weapons and power-ups, which means there'll be people defending those spots, and that kind of draws people to the same area. And I really love the fact that it's 3-on-3, or there are teams of 3, and I think that's just going to leave a lot of, I guess, what you call blind spots, especially soon as you start to take down one of the teammates. Then you've kind of lost like one special skill, and the 2 others have to play extra hard to kind of make up for the person that they just lost. And definitely the game looked way faster than any of the other Battle Royales that have already been out on the market. I think that makes sense because people have been playing these type of games for a couple of years now, that they probably want something a bit faster feeling. Now, it seems like there's way more verticality than any other Battle Royale game out there. So I think that's going to provide a lot of interesting angles that we haven't seen before in the past, and that's going to be a lot of fun. Now, one thing is that the loadout for each character is around the map, so you don't actually choose the character and then you have those specific weapons with that character. What it actually is you got to go and find those weapons around the map to load out your character, and I think that's going to make for some really crazy gameplay, where people have to think about where things are on the map and think about strategies on the fly. So if there are already areas that you can't actually get to, and there are only those type of power-ups in the area that you're in, you have to think about how you're going to actually beat your opponents with what is in the area itself. Players can only carry 2 weapons and 2 hacks, so that's kind of really cool. I think that's going to make people think about what type of weapons that they're going to carry a lot, and the 2 hacks are going to help for things like offense and defensive stats. So and also you can fuse the weapon if you have 2 of the same weapon. Now I feel like that might probably get abused because we know that everyone just min-maxes characters on online games. So if you can fuse your weapon to make a better weapon, there probably needs to be some sort of drawback to why you can't actually use that fused powerful weapon all the time. So it needs to be nerfed in some sort of way. We didn't really see that in the trailer, but I think Ubisoft, you know, because this is Rainbow Six Siege developers, that they'll probably get the balance right, hopefully. You can also improve your weapons with upgrades, and dead teammates can scout ahead. I think that's really interesting. I think we've seen that in pretty much all the other games, where if you're dead you can just move the camera around, but we'll see how this plays out. I think that's a good use of people that are dead at the time and need and can still direct their teammates to go and do other things. Dead teammates create restore points, so they can be brought back into the game. But obviously, if there's just 3 players, as soon as you're down 1 player, I think that's going to make it pretty tough for the other 2 players to get the other player back. Especially when you take out one, you would probably want to take out the other 2 as quick as you can so that they can't respawn. Now, this is really cool. This is kind of like, you know, the I guess reality TV type of thing that they've done in the past, where the audience can vote on live TV, and so in the game, audience can vote on gameplay events and gameplay changes. So it said in the trailer that they could have like unlimited ammo period of time, and there was another one, low gravity mode. So that could be really fun, because then the players have to adapt to challenges from the audience. And finally, I think that the really cool way to end the game is a showdown phase to, I guess, remove the camping that you might find. I think in PUBG, there is this sort of camping once you get down to like 2 or 3 players at the end, where people don't want to be the first one attacked, I guess. And so people go and grab the crown and play like a king of the hill type thing for 45 seconds, and the player who can hold on to that crown is the winner. And so I think that's a really cool way of deciding the game. And overall, I think what they've tried to do in a very Ubisoft type fashion is that they looked around at the gaming landscape, picked all of the things that they thought were interesting and good to use, and put them into their game. It's not something brand new, but this is what Ubisoft are good at doing. You know, I don't think this is going to be the perfect game, but this will definitely be a game that I think this will get plenty of people playing.